Annie, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here, and welcome to my little mid-year reset, restart life audit. Originally, I wanted to film this video at the very end of June, but then the month of July has been crazy. I've been moving into my first apartment. I've been helping my parents with selling the house and their move. We've also had family in town for the first time since pre-pandemic. So unfortunately, I was not able to sit down and film that video when I originally wanted to, but I think that July 20th is still pretty early in the second half of the year. So I am finally now sitting down and getting around to filming it, which I think is actually pretty good timing because lately I've been feeling like I'm in sort of like a funk. Like, totally, don't get me wrong, I have so many blessings in my life and so many things to be grateful for, but most definitely mentally and emotionally for the first half of the year, my anxiety, my panic disorder, my depression, all those things have definitely been getting the better of me, and in the second half of the year I want to take back control. So that is sort of what this whole reset and audit is kind of formatted for, is really just taking back control of my life as a whole in the second half of the year. And also I formatted this video kind of in a follow along type of format, so if any of you guys want to follow along and apply this to any areas of your life, then you can do so. So step one of this little audit and reset is to basically reflect on each individual area of my life and then rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 based on how happy I am with that area of my life. The main areas of my life being like my job and finances, my relationships with the friends and family members in my life, my overall state of health and fitness, but also for some of you guys that may include things like school if you're still in high school or college or university. You can totally apply this to pretty much any area of your life. So starting off with the relationships in my life, all the friends and family that I have in my life currently, I would definitely rate that a 10 on 10. I think that as a whole, all of the different individual relationships I have in my life currently, this is probably the healthiest that has been in a very, very long time. I've done a lot of soul searching and reflecting. I've cut out a lot of toxic relationships. I've also in the first half of the year had a lot of really amazing new people come into my life, and just as a whole, I think right now I'm just surrounded by a lot of really amazing people that are just very, very supportive of everything that I do, everything that makes me happy. And so I think as far as relationships in my everyday life go, I think that is a pretty solid 10 on 10. Then in terms of health and well-being and fitness, I think I'm gonna go ahead and rate that about a 5 on 10. I think really in the first half of the year and pretty much all throughout the pandemic, if I'm pretty honest with myself, I've been really slacking on thinking about my health and being a lot more health conscious. I've just really been slacking on my goals, not putting a lot of thought into taking care of myself. Back in November, I got myself a personal trainer. Then also in the new year, I set all kinds of goals to eat better and stay more fit and just overall take better care of myself. And I think as a whole in the first half of the year, I definitely slacked on all of that. So later on in this video, that is definitely something I'm going to be talking more about and focusing on more and setting a lot of effective goals, which I will show you guys exactly how I'm doing that later on in this video. Then the third area of my life is my job as a content creator, my finances, my income. So as far as my finances, my income, I would probably rate that about a 9 on 10. I think as a whole, that's in a pretty good place with a little bit of room for improvement. Always leave that little bit of improvement. But as a whole, I am pretty happy with the income and money that is consistently coming my way. In terms of actually doing my job, actually creating content, I'm gonna go ahead and rate that about a 7 on 10 because I am definitely just as passionate as I was back in 2018 when I first got started, but I have definitely been struggling a lot more recently in terms of what content I want to be creating, kind of just getting really all up in my head about the future of my channel and the long-term trajectory of my channel. What is it that I want to be creating and sharing with my audience? So that has been a point of a lot of stress and anxiety, which has led to a overall decrease in motivation and energy, and I've been really slacking where the consistency of uploads and creating is concerned. So definitely in the second half of 2022, that is one area of my life that I really want to take from a 7 on 10 to as close to a 10 on 10 as possible. So now moving on into the second step of this audit, now that I have all of those ratings of the different areas of my life in mind. Now what we are going to do is imagine yourself at the very end of December 2022. 2022 is just about to wrap up. 2023 is just about to start. You are living your absolute best life, your dream life. Every single area of your life is a perfect 10 on 10. What exactly does that look like? How are you feeling? What does that consist of? What does your life include? What does it exclude? What is absolutely everything that you need and everything you don't need to make every single area of your life be a perfect 10 on 10? So if I sit here and reflect on absolutely everything that I need to make the second half of the year absolutely perfect, I think pretty much everything really boils down to one word, and that is consistency. I really do think that as a whole, where all of the disappointment and frustration and anxiety and all those really bad feelings I've been feeling, where all that really comes from and boils down to, I really think that all of that comes down to inconsistency in all those different areas of my life. So I really do think that if I want to take every single one of those areas of my life from where they are right now to making every one of them a perfect 10 on 10 by the end of the year, what it is I really have to focus on doing is being a lot more consistent in every single one of those areas. Which then brings us to step number 3 of this audit and reset, which is to prioritize your focus. Obviously, Rome was not built in one single day. You cannot go from having one area of your life being a 7 on 10 today to being a perfect 10 on 10 tomorrow. Having everything just fall into place and be a whole lot better for you is going to take time. But also, if you were to take absolutely everything on all at once, it would just be too much and would all come crashing down and fall apart. So instead, what it is that I want to do is I want to sort of prioritize which areas of my life I want to become a lot more consistent in first, and then once I have a much better hold and control over all of that, then I can move on to other areas. So as of this moment currently, I think the 2 biggest areas of my life that I really want to be more consistent in, I think that is going to be my job as a creator, being a lot more consistent where creating content is concerned, and also be a lot more consistent where having a healthy lifestyle is concerned. I really do think that if I really prioritize being consistent in both of those areas, and I'm consistent from July to the end of December, I think that by the end of the year I will be in a much better position. Which then leads us into step 4 of this audit and reset, which is setting effective goals. Now here is my main beef with setting goals and how much absolutely everybody on social media talks about setting goals, having goals, things you want to achieve, things you want to manifest into your life. The main issue with all of that is that a lot of the goals people have and things they are manifesting, most of those things are abstract ideas with zero planning. Whether your goal is to drop 25 pounds or reach the milestone of X amount of subscribers on YouTube, whether you want to save up X amount of money by the end of the year or invest in this by the end of the year, having a broken down and very specific plan to get from point A to point B and then turning every one of those goals into daily habits worked into your daily routines, that is the ultimate #1 thing that is going to be the main difference between actually achieving your goals and never actually getting there. So what it is I'm going to do is I'm going to basically create a roadmap and a plan for every one of those goals so that I can turn them into actionable habits that I include in my everyday daily routines, so that every single day I'm taking one step closer to actually achieving those goals. So like I said earlier, the 2 areas of my life that I really want to be a lot more consistent in are my job and creating content, as well as creating a healthy lifestyle. Which means that if I want to achieve consistency in both those areas of my life, I have to come up with an actual roadmap and actionable steps to get there. So let's first start off with creating a roadmap for the ideal dream healthy lifestyle I am envisioning. Personally, I don't have any like crazy specific goals I want to achieve, like I want to drop X amount of pounds or I want to lose X amount of inches on any one specific body part. Truthfully, what it is I'm really striving for and wanting to work towards is developing a consistently healthy routine so that by the end of December 2022, I physically, mentally, and emotionally feel pretty much the best I have ever felt. Basically, I just want to know what it feels like to feel like you are on top of the world. So in order to ensure that I actually reach that point by the end of the year, I've created 3 major goals that I'm turning into daily habits that I can incorporate into my daily routines and actually take steps towards achieving. So firstly, every single day I'm going to be closing the rings on my Apple Watch. So that first includes burning a total of 630 active calories every single day, having a full 30 minutes of physical activity every day, as well as having a full 12 hours of standing up every single day. Secondly, sort of going along with that, I've hired a personal trainer who is going to be creating workouts for me 3 days a week. As well, I have also purchased my dream stationary bike and also created a playlist over on YouTube full of workouts I can follow along that are tailor-made to my needs. So every single day, whether it is first thing in the morning, mid-morning, afternoon, or evening, I will get in at least one of those forms of physical activity. And then thirdly, I will also be counting calories and tracking what I'm eating in MyFitnessPal. This is absolutely not to restrict myself or cut out anything from my diet, just to have a really good idea every single day of exactly what I'm consuming and what is coming in and out of my body. So again, this is not about dieting, this is not about restrictive eating in any way, shape, or form. This is more about clean eating and whole eating so that I can feel really good about what it is I'm putting in my body and feel really good physically and internally and not feel sluggish all the time and dragged down by whatever it is I am eating. I think that if I am really consistent with those 3 habits and I apply those 3 things to my everyday life, by the end of December 2022, I should feel really good physically, mentally, and emotionally. So now we do the exact same thing and create a roadmap to being super consistent with content creation and YouTube. So currently with my YouTube channel, I don't have any kind of goals like a certain subscriber count milestone. I don't have any specific like view count or watch time I want to achieve. And also, like I said earlier, I am pretty happy with where my finances and income are concerned. Currently, my main goals where my content creation and YouTube are concerned really all comes down to what content I'm creating and where I'm taking my content in the future. I've spent so many nights lately lying awake in the middle of the night asking myself, what do you want to be creating? What are you trying to do with your channel? And really just being overly stressed and anxious about it. So the main realization I've come down to is that since I first began this channel, YouTube has done a real 180 where the algorithm and where the viewers are concerned. Where essentially when I first began my YouTube channel, everybody on YouTube was mainly chasing after niches and wanting some kind of value out of YouTube, where now I think things have really changed on the platform, where people are following other people less for niches and value and more so people are following people for people. Whether that is because of their vibe and their style, whether it's because of what it is they are talking about and the way they deliver it, or it's because that person is just really relatable and people can connect with them really easily. Being a creator and creating content, being an entrepreneur, running a social media business, being a 23-year-old living on my own for the first time, all those things are all big parts of who I am as a person and my life overall. So at this current point in time, my roadmap for my YouTube channel and the future of my channel really is a lot less dependent on a consistent upload schedule. It's really got nothing to do with having a niche anymore and really just all comes down to now creating content that aligns with my personal branding and who I am. So I think now I'm going to be a lot less anxious and stressed over having a consistent upload schedule. I'm going to be completely not thinking about niches anymore, and where my true consistency is going to lie is going to be in having consistent weekly planning sessions where I'm going to be sitting down and planning all kinds of content and making sure that every single upload and all the content I am producing really just aligns with my personal branding and who all of you guys know me to be. I think that if I stick to all of that and that is my consistent roadmap, in the end I will be a lot less anxious, stressed, worried, and a lot more passionate and excited to create. So now with all of these goals and these plans, these routines, and all this stuff all in mind, what it is I have gone ahead and done is in my notes app, I've created a pinned note so that every single time I go into my notes app, that is the first one I see at the very top. And every single Sunday when I have my Sunday reset, when I am planning for the next week ahead, the next few days ahead, This is a note in my notes app that I can refer to during every one of those planning sessions so that I can include all of these habits and all of these to-dos into my daily routines and to-do lists. That I think is going to be the number one thing that is going to help me to be a lot more consistent in all these different areas of my life, and also help me to ensure that every day I'm taking major strides and steps towards achieving these goals, so that by the end of December 2022, all these different areas of my life are as close to a perfect 10 on 10 as possible. So yeah, you guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I literally feel like I've been talking for the longest time. So if you guys watched all the way to the end of the video, if you are still watching, then thank you so very much. As always, I love you all to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!